Hi! In today's video I'll show you how I made these Vambraces for my Gar Saxon armor build. I started with just a single image of these Vambraces from the Clone Wars TV show, then built 3D models, printed them, and painted them to get this final Vambrace. I'm really happy with how these turned out, and it was a really simple process, so I hope you can learn something and I hope you enjoy. Thanks. I started my Vambrace design in Fusion 360. I based my starting shape and size off of an existing Vambrace 3D model. Once I was happy with the shape of my Vambrace, I made the box that extends out from it. The blaster barrel was then modeled into the Vambrace. This Vambrace has unique fins that go outside the cylindrical Vambrace. These were modeled and then cut to shape using sketches. Once I was happy with the shape of the fins, the cylindrical body was cut out from the fins to ensure a perfect fit up between the two of them. Then the final details were added and it was ready to be sent over to my printer. Once the pieces were removed from the printer, supports needed to be removed and the fit needed to be tested. The blue pieces were printed on my larger printer out of PLA plastic, and the black pieces were printed on my smaller printer out of ABS. I was happy with how they fit together, so it was time to start filling in the layer lines. To do this, I mixed Bondo spot putty with a little bit of acetone so it can be easily applied in thin layers. This is not necessary for the ABS parts, since they can be easily sanded. A little bit of spot putty is used on the ABS parts to cover up the Z-seam and fill in the supports. After they are filled with the Bondo spot putty, they are given a round of sanding, then a coat of gray Rust-Oleum primer, and then wet sanded to 220 grit. Okay, so on my gauntlets, there's supposed to be a little tip here that is part of where the flamethrower and the blaster goes, but in order to slide these parts on, I couldn't work that into the model because there's no way to do it. So I was planning on printing a little something after the fact that would fit in these holes that I put in. But I just had a brilliant idea to kit bash basically these 3D printer nozzles in there. Now these are dark steel 3D printer nozzles that don't work in my printer. Well, they work, but they're round. I don't have a tool to tighten them down, so I can't really use them. And they're cheap, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to drill out these holes a little bit and then put these in. Should be a nice little detail. Okay, so off camera, I painted these a gloss black, then metallic, and then put clear coat over the metallic covering. This is just a cheap Rust-Oleum paint. It's not the bright coat I use for my Mandalorian helmets because I wanted to better match the metal I used in the chest armor. So I figured don't make it too shiny, try to blend it in. And I think I did a pretty good job making them about as close as I possibly could. Now I'm going to put some toothpaste down on all of these, then spray them the airbrush black that I used for the rest of my armor. And then it's time to do the red and all the weathering. So. Once the masks were removed, several places needed the paint touched up by hand to make the red lines look more crisp. Okay, so I went to attach the outer part to the inner part of the Vambrace, and the paint made the tolerances too tight, so I accidentally broke this one in half, which is annoying. So I'm just going to reprint another one right now, and hope it doesn't happen again. Now it's time to weather up the rest of these. And this one is good, so I'm going to press it in all the way, and then install the 3D printer nozzle, and then do touch-up painting. So this is the finished result, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. They matched the chest pieces that I did in the last episode really well, which is exactly what I was going for. I actually had to repaint them to better match, but I'm really happy with the final result. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. I'm posting daily or weekly updates on my Instagram at MarkMarksMakes for how this build is going. Currently I have the shoulders done, almost the entire upper body is done except for the gloves and back piece. So stay tuned for more pieces of that. The next part of this series will be the shoulders, which I had to 3D model as well, and they turned out awesome. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching.